Hi my dear students, you are warmly welcome to the Teaching Plus YouTube channel. Through this video I would like to discuss the exercises of the lesson number 11 in the textbook of grade 10 mathematics provided by Sri Lankan government. Also, I will have attached the relevant link of the PDF below this video. Those who further need my coming 10-11 maths videos for other units can subscribe my Teaching Plus Maths YouTube channel. Fine, let's start. Especially pie charts. Pie charts contain two types of questions in the exam. First, represent data in a pie chart. Second, extracting data from a pie chart. Here, according to the lesson content, there are three exercises. Exercise number 11.1 contains all the problems regarding representing the data in a pie chart. Exercise 11.2 contains extracting data from a pie chart. Right? Before we go to the 11.2 or miscellaneous exercise, we have to discuss the representing data in a pie chart. This is the basic thing of the lesson of pie chart. Okay, let us discuss the unit number 11.1 exercise. Okay, let's see. The question number 1 of 11.1. You all have to read with me this question. There are 40 students in a certain class. Each of these children has selected either dancing, music or art as their aesthetic subject. There are three subjects: dancing, music and art. Right? 20 of these children are studying art. While 15 are studying music. The rest are studying dancing because the total is 40. So we have count 20 plus 15, 35. There are 5 more students to do dancing. Okay, but however, the rest are studying dancing represents the above information in a pie chart. The question is, we have to represent these information in a pie chart. Before you learn how to include these information inside a pie chart, we must know particular knowledge regarding the pie charts. That is a small knowledge. If we are able to find the relevant fraction regarding each denomination, we are very easy to find the pie chart that they need. Okay, however, for the dancing, we must have a relevant fraction because 5, 20 and 15, you told the totality, we were given that 40. That 5 is 5 out of 40. You must remember, to represent data in the pie chart, we must know the fractions. 15 over 40, no need to write down. 20 over 40. Right? I don't expect you to write these fractions because useless but useful for your mind. Remember, because when we find the angles of the sectors relevant to the pie chart, we must know this fraction because in a pie chart, remember, if I just draw a circle, there's center midpoint. At this center, we have always 360 degrees. Inside this 360 quantity, we have to include the three facts called dancing, music, art. Then according to the ratio that they have given, we have to define the sectors. What are the sectors? The first sector for dancing, the other sector for music, the third sector for art. The sectors are like this, but we don't know the magnitudes of the sectors. The thing is whether you are able to calculate these magnitudes of the sectors. Okay, I will now teach you how to find the relevant sectors angles. Wait. The angle for denoting dancing how to find the angle for denoting dancing. You know, the whole angle is 360. By means of this 360, just you have to multiply by the relevant fraction. Simply I am telling you have to attack by the relevant fraction. So what's the fraction belong to the dancing? You told previously it is 5 over 40. How did I get 40? Because the total is 40. The relevant fraction is 5 out of 40. We have to multiply. When I simplify, the answer coming like 4 times 1, 4 times 9, 9 times 5, 45 degrees. Right? Only 45 degrees is enough to denote the sector for the dancing. Right? And also, we have to find angle for music. How to find that? This is, again, I will write here because no enough space. Angle for music. Angle for denoting music. I don't write denoting. Right? How to find? By means of the same 360, you have to multiply by the relevant fraction. What's the relevant fraction to the music? 15 over 40. 15 over 40. 0, 0 cancel. 4 times 1, 4 times 9. What's the answer coming? 9 times 50. 135. The sectorial angle is 135. Okay, however, so far we have calculated two angles for two denominations called dancing and music. The first one was 45, the other is 135. Okay, what is the sum of the two angles so far we made? 135 plus 45. It will be 180. We can add 135 plus 45, 180. Then there is another angle too. What is the other angle? 180. How to find? We can subtract this 135 and 45 from the 360. It will be 180. By your mind, you can do that. Or otherwise, as we did previously, we can use the 360 and the relevant fraction 20 over 40. Right? If we write down like this, angle for art. Right? How to get this? By means of this 360, we have to multiply by the relevant fraction 20 over 40. Okay, 0, 0 cancel. 4 times 1, 4 times 9. What is 9 times 2? 80. That 180 is coming. Previously I told you, by your mind you can calculate that thing because of the two angles we earlier found, and 360 is totally. By that we could have subtracted that. Okay, otherwise, we got the three angles values. Then because of the magnitudes of three values are known, we can now representing information in a pie chart. This is the lesson. Okay, dancing, there's a 45. You have a certain idea regarding 45 magnitude. The 45 is the less than 90, it's exactly half of the 90. Okay, right? And we can manage that by just having a sketch, no need to measure each and every angles. And the next one, for the music, the angles denoting for music, we calculated as 135. How can we get 135? Before you go to think about 135, you must have an idea regarding the remaining angle too. Finally we kept an angle for art. This is the majority of the society. 180. Because of the next angle becoming 135 and other is 180, what is the angle that you get easy to have? The 180. This one. And this must be 135. Right? Then that's how we have to represent the information in a pie chart. But however, to complete the pie chart, you must remember, usually we don't mention the angles inside the sectors of the pie charts. But this time for the first example, first question, I had to indicate the magnitudes of the angle inside the pie chart. Otherwise, you are not getting understand enough. That's the thing. Okay, however, I'm going to erase the angles. No need. But it doesn't matter for mathematics when you consider one or two angles. But however, we have to indicate, denoting some patterns. Right. The first one for the dancing. For dancing, I can leave a white color space. And for the music, I can leave a shaded portion. And the remaining parts describe art. I can have some process or otherwise any pattern you like. This is for art. This is the complete answer for the first question. Okay, we will consider the second question too. Okay. Exercise 11.1, question number 2. I think you are reading with me. The following table provides information on the subject streams followed by the students in advanced level classes of a certain school. Subject streams: arts 45, science 20, commerce 25, tech 30. Thing is, they haven't given us the totality of the students. But however, we are the one who should take the totality. What is the total? Okay. Can you just count? 45 and 25 we can count. It is 70, 90 and this 30 becoming 120 students. The total is 120. Why did we take the total? There's a reason behind that, because we are now going to describe this information inside the pie chart. To illustrate this information inside the pie chart, we have to always take the relevant fractions. Relevant fractions. So what are relevant? Don't write. You think by your mind the relevant fraction. 45. The relevant fraction 45 over 120. 20. Relevant fraction 20 upon 120. 25. 25 over 120. 30 over 120. These are the relevant fraction. If you know these relevant fraction, if you are able to think like this, we can easily find the relevant sectors belong to each denominations. Okay, here are 4 denominations called arts, science, commerce and tech. Okay, we will find angle denoting for arts. Shortly and briefly I had to write. Then, inside the pie chart, that's only 360 degrees. That's why we had to always take the 360 and multiply this by a relevant fraction of the denomination. The denomination you need arts, the relevant fraction you have is 45 over 120. This is 20 over 120, 25 over 120, 30 over 120. The denominator doesn't change. Okay, however, we can simplify 0 and 0. 12 times 1, 12 times 3. 3 times 45 is 135. So, okay. And again, we can find the angle for science. Science means angles for the students denoting science stream. Okay. By means of same 360, we have to take 20 over 120. The thing is whether you are able to find the relevant fraction and 0, we can cut. 12 times 1, 12 times 3, 36. 3 times 20 is 60. 60. Right. Commas. Angle for commas. So angle for commas, I will write this in red color. 360 we can multiply by 25 over 120. Always you must remember the denominator of the fraction 120. 120 is the thing. Right? We can simplify. 0 and 0 getting cancelled. 12 times 1, 12 times 3. The what's the answer? 3 times 25, 75 degrees. Right. Okay, so far we have obtained 3 angles. 135, 60, 75. Now, to find the remaining angle technology, also we can follow the previous method we made, or otherwise, by the 360 we can subtract. To find the angle for the technology, by this 360 we have to subtract the sum of the 3 angles so far found. 135 and 75 is 210, 210 and 60, 270. The sum of these previous 3 angles, 270, the remaining angles becoming 90. Okay, now we have to illustrate these 4 information inside this pie chart. How to illustrate? The first angle we found, 135. There is no order, we can find 135. 135 is always more than 90, less than 180. It is between 180 and 90. This is 135. Right? It's for the arts. The second one, science. Science 60. How to represent 60? You must know if this is 135. If we got more 45, it is 45, and this 60 should be more than 45. This much may be 60. Don't mention the 60, no need. It doesn't matter for mentioning 60 but not getting wrong, but no need. But however, we can use a pattern to denote this. The subject is science stream. The next one, commas. The angle for commas was 75. The 75 and the other angle was 90. Remember, other angles are critical. Standard angle is a 90. 1/4 of a circle should be taken. Therefore, this should be includes for the technology, and this one should be the 75. The 75 should be always larger than 60. Therefore, you have to manage, because this as a sketch, then we have to reduce the magnitude of the previous angle. Now it will be okay. The 60 and 75. This is 60 and 75. This must be somewhat larger than the previous one. Okay, however, by main process we indicated commas. And finally, technology. For technology, we will use a different pattern. We can use the dot by making some dots. We can illustrate the students are doing technology. Okay, this is the total answer for the question number 2. Okay, I will discuss the question number 3 in the exercise 11.1. This is the last question of the 11.1 of grade 10 mathematics. Third question. The number of newspapers that were sold at a newspaper stall on a certain day of the week was 540. The total number of newspapers that were sold was 540. The number of single-use papers sold was 210. Single newspapers 210. But this instance, you know the total number of newspapers that were sold. One by one they are giving now. The number of single newspapers is 210, while the number of Tamil papers sold was 150. Number of Tamil newspapers 150. The rest of the papers that were sold were English papers. The rest is English paper. Okay. You know the total. The total is 540. We can add the two denomination 210, 150. What is that? 360. If you know this 360, you know the 540 was the total. By this total 540, we can subtract this 360. So what's coming? 0. 6 from 14, 8. 3 from 4, 1. This is 180 newspapers. Okay, but how will we know the 540 as the total? If we know the total better, now we can calculate the denomination. The angle denoting for singular newspapers. Angle for singular newspapers. I will write only singular newspapers. Right. What should we always do? To find the relevant sector inside the pie chart, we had always attacked by the relevant fraction. What's a fraction in regards to singular? 210, the total is 540. Don't forget that. 210 or 540, this Tamil 150 or 540, 180 or 540. This way we can multiply to find the angle inside the sectors. Okay, this is 210 over 540. An angle denoting Tamil we can write an expression using the same 360 with the relevant fraction. The fraction is 150 or 540. You know, the angle denoting English. Again, we will write the similar expression for this using the 360 circle. We have to multiply by relevant fraction. The relevant fraction is 180 over 540. Right, now we have written the three relevant categories. Then we have to simplify to find the relevant sector real angles, and we can simplify 0 and 0. Between 54 and 36 you have 9 times common, otherwise 18 times, but 9 times is better. The 9 times 6, the 9 times 4. We can simplify further 6 times 1 and 210. 21 is the number. 21 to 6 is 3 up to 18. The gap between 18 and 21 is 3. 3 and 0, 30. 32 number of 6. 5. This is 4 times 35. So what's the answer for 4 times 35? 4 times 35. You know 35 times 4 is 140 degrees. This must be the answer. Right? Likewise we can simplify the next 54 and 36 again. We have 9 times 6 and 9 times 4 and again 6's, 6 times 1, 152 6's. The 15 is the main number 15. The 15 has 2 6's up to 12 and 3 is remaining. The 30 the number of 6 multiples are 5. This is 25 times 4. You know 25 times 4 is 100. So your final answer is 100 degrees for the timing. And the angle at the sector for the English, to represent English as a sector, we have to further simplify this. In same way we have to simplify 54 and 36 with 9 times. 9 times 6 and 9 times 4. You know 6 as 1, 6 as 3, 0. 30 times 4 is 120. At the end of these three answers, we can check whether the three angles are okay, because 140, 240. 240 and this 120, 360. The sum of these three angles also 360. That means the answers we got are correct. Okay, however, now is the moment to illustrate all these sectors inside this pie chart. I'm going to draw a pie chart. Okay, and the first angle, the angle for single newspapers 140. You know, 140 should be more than 90 and less than 180. This might be 140, the magnitude. Just I can write but no need. Again, 100, the angle for Tamil, 100 and the 120. We have to mark 100. 100 is very close to 90, but more than 90. Then just you have to make a right angle, but more than right angle is 100. I think this may be enough for 100. 100. The remaining angle is 120. But with respect to the previous angle we took, the 140, this would be 120. But according to my notation, now the two angles seem to be like equal. That should be happen. Therefore, we have to take some adjustments like this. I think this will be the best, because without measuring, we have to just have a sketch for the illustrating this kind of a pie chart. Okay, 140, 100, 120. Okay, we know now the denomination. We have used some particular patterns. I don't need to actually mention the magnitude of the angle. If we have mentioned the angle, it doesn't matter. But for the mathematical purpose, we don't use the angle. When we illustrate the pie charts, we don't mention angles. Instead of that, we had to mention the relevant notations like this. Okay, the first notation for denoting singular newspapers. Then we have to tell this is regarding singular newspaper. And the next one, we colored there in this way, Tamil newspaper. And English newspaper, 120 degrees. Okay, this is the answer for the third one of the first exercise 11.1. Now we have come to the end of the first exercise called 11.1. Now we have to move to the exercise number 11.2. The 11.2 is only based on the information extraction. Is extracting information from a pie chart, as I mentioned by writing the two topics earlier. Right now I'm going to start the new topic, extracting information from a pie chart. Okay, this topic is very essential topic for all the exam papers for mathematics, because a lot of exams, this kind of questions are given because students are not writing their own answers correctly 100%, because of some hardness can become when they are answering this kind of type of questions. Okay, this time we are given pie charts, they are asking questions. Okay, now I'm going to discuss the question number 1 of the 11.2 exercise. Get ready with me. Okay, read. Before we go to read, I think it's better to draw the pie chart. Okay, student. There's a pie chart given. Right? Using dot pattern and radio. This is what they have given. radio, and this uncolor portion television. Okay, let's start. You have to first read the question carefully before you go to answer each question. Okay, I will read the first question of the extracting information from the pie chart of the question number 1. Okay, the pie chart drawn with the information gathered from 40 grade 10 students of a certain school regarding the type of mass media they most prefer is given below. This is regarding, of course, 40 students. Okay, getting this 40 students idea, then we have to read the questions they ask. They are asking questions one by one. There are 4 sub questions. Answer the following questions using the pie chart. Okay, question number 1. Small question is asked because this is the first question of the relevant exercise number 11.2. Okay, which type of mass media is preferred by the greatest number of children? They ask if the type of mass media is preferred by the greatest number of children. Looking at the pie chart, we can just measure by your mind the greatest media. What is the greatest part? The greatest one, this sector is the part where represents the greatest one. Therefore, the white color denomination represents the television. Therefore, your answer should be the type of mass should be the television. This is actually not a maths question. By your mind, then you have to just imagine the answer. Okay, second one. Which type of the mass media is preferred by the least number of children? To get the least number of children, the least magnitude of the sector. The sector having least magnitude should be this. Therefore, the relevant mass media is the newspapers. The answer is newspaper. Okay, third one. If the angle at the center of the sector which denotes the children who prefer television is 162, please wait. The television is 162. So after we got that television is 162, this is data, we have to mark it. 162 students. Sorry, 162 is the angle. If the angle at the center of the sector which denotes the children who prefer television is 162. 162, find the number of children who prefer television. Now, they ask the number of children who prefer television. To find the number of children who prefer television, there is the data given, the angle. The angle of the students who prefer television is already given. It is 162. Okay, now we have to find the number of students denoted by this sector. The sector is this much. The sector is belonging to 162. You know the total number of students. By means of this total number of students only, we can have an answer. Therefore, we have to use, for extracting, we have to use the 40 main case. By this all 40 students, there must be a small quantity. To find a small quantity, small sector, for a sector, we have to use a fraction. The fraction relevant for this, the 162 is the relevant angle, but whole angle is 360. Okay, this time for extracting, we must always use fraction regarding angles. This fraction is 162 over 360. Therefore, this total is attacked by or multiplied by 162 over 360. Why did we get 360? You must again remind that because the whole angle around the point is 360. That's the reason. Okay, now we can simplify as a choice. Okay, 0 to 0, we can cancel. And 4 times 1 and 4 times 9. Finally, 162 over 9 is the thing. Okay, how to divide that? We can use a different color. 9 times 1. 9 times 1 for the 16. The gap between 9 and 16 is 7. 7 and 2, 72. The 72, how many number of 9 times are there in 72? It is 18. Okay, 18 times 1 is 18. There must be 18 students. Okay, that's how. Third one. we will see the question. If the angle at the center of the sector, which denotes the children who prefer newspaper, is 90. The newspaper angle is 90. They are the one that has given the 90. Find the number of children who prefer newspaper. By giving the relevant angle of the newspapers, they ask the number of students relevant for that. Okay, how to find? The thing is 40 students. By means of these 40 students only, we had to pick an angle. How to find the number of students? Right. By means of these 40 students, again, we have to use a fraction. What's a fraction? Relevant to the number of newspapers. Right? The students who prefer the newspapers. The angle is 90 over 360. Therefore, we have to use 90 over 360 as a fraction. Right. And 0 to 0 cancel. And we can simplify between 9 times 1, 9 times 4. And again 4 times 1, 4 times 1, 0. 10 students. 10 students. Right? Okay, this is the question number 4. Right. There are only 4 questions given. But in addition to these 4 questions, if I remind you, then so far we have obtained the number of students in 2 denominations. First one is students who are reading, who are prepared for the television were 18 students, and now it is 10 students. The total is 18 and 10, 28. There must be more 12 remaining students now, right? If the question asks about to find the students who are preferred for the radio, then how to find? There must be the preferred angle, the relevant angle. How can we get an angle? We have to use the 360 purpose, and by adding 90 with this 160, we have to find an angle. That angle should be subtracted from the 360 to find this remaining angle. After having this angle magnitude only, we have to make the fraction. Right? By this fraction, in the same way, we have to fight with this 40, because total is 40. Right? When we extract in data from pie charts, always we have to remember, if we know the total, we have to fight with this total with the relevant fraction. That's the thing. That's the trick. Okay? That you have to follow this trick when you extract data from pie charts. Okay. Now, we have to go for the second question to have better idea more than this. Okay, question number 2. Question number 2. Before I go to read the question, I have to draw the pie chart with this. I think you better also draw a pie chart when you listen to me within this discussion. There's only OPD, clinic, hospitalized. Regarding hospitalizing. Okay, just because you saw the pie chart, you don't have idea, and me too. And we have to read. Okay, at the top of the question from 2, which is question number 2, we had to read. The following pie chart illustrates the information on the number of patients who received treatment from the different units of the hospital on a certain day. Right. The total number of patients who received treatment at the hospital on the day was 600. The thing is, total number of patients who received treatment at the hospital on that day was 600. This also is giving the total number of students who got treatment on that day. The total is 600 patients. Right. Okay. By giving these 600 patients, they are asking few questions. The question number 1. The extracting is easy if you catch it from the through point. Okay. Question number 1. From which unit did most number of patients receive treatment on that day? Right. Most number of patients. looking at the pie chart, you can see this. According to your exercise in the PDF, you have to check the angle is somewhat bigger than this, than I have drawn, and OPD is the thing. Then OPD is the answer for the first one. It is not a mathematical question, it's a normal question. Question number 2. If the angle at the center of the sector denoting this unit means above mentioned units, OPT, because there are 3 units. They told them. Now this unit means should be the previous unit that they mentioned at the first question. Okay, right. If the angle at the center of the sector denoting this unit is 150, okay, we must have an idea. To have 150 inside the pie chart, we better mark it, right? The data given is 150. When they give this 150, you ought to remind the fraction relevant to that. Because when you know the total, always it is implementing with fractions. Remember, that's the trick. Okay, now, how many patients received treatment from that particular unit on that day? Now, it's the question they ask. They ask the number of patients who got treatment from that unit. That unit means the OPD. Our answer given in the previous one. Okay, the number of patients, right? 600 is a total. To this 600, with this 600 we have to fight with a fraction. Can you remember? The fraction relevant to that is 150 or 150 or 360. Yes, 150 or 360. It should be angular fraction. 360, because total is 360. Now, 0 to 0 we can simplify. And with this 36 and 600 we can simplify because 6 times are there. 6's 6. 1, 0, 0. Further, we can simplify 6 times 1. I think it's better to simplify with 3 times. 3 times 2, 3 times 5, and again 2 times 1, 2 times 50. 50 times 5. 50 times 5, we have to multiply 50 times 5. What's the answer for 50 times 5? 250. The answer is 250 patients. Okay. Third one. Then you better mention the answer you previously obtained for your future purpose. 250 patients were there. Okay, I don't know whether it will be useful or not, but for your betterment you had to mention that. Okay, third one. The final question of the question number 2. If the number of patients, this time they have given the number of patients, right? Patients who received treatment while being hospitalized is 130. This is the number of patients. This is 130. 130 patients. 130 patients. Find the angle at the center of the sector which denote these patients. This time they ask the angle at the center at the hospitalized sector. To find this angle, find an angle, you have to fight with the main angle. What's the main angle? 360. The whole angle 360. Therefore, I must take 360 into the board. 360 degrees. Using this 360, we have to fight with the fraction. Now this time fraction, because of the total number of patients are known. Therefore, the number of patients in the relevant sector is 130. The total is 600. Can you build up a fraction? Yes. What's the fraction denoted for the hospitalized patients? 130 over 600. This is when we have used 130 over 600 to fight with the fraction. This is a fraction. Okay. Now we have simplified. 0 to 0 we can cancel. And again with this 0. And 6 times 1, 6 times 6. This is 6 times 13. The 6 times 13 we have to multiply. 13 times 6, otherwise 6 times 3, 18 mark remaining. 6 times 1 6 and 1 7. 78. This is an angle. Therefore, we have to indicate the units relevant to that 78 degrees. The angle referred to the hospitalized section should be 78 degrees. Okay. Now they have asked two different questions. One was regarding a number of patients in the previous one. But this time they asked regarding the number of magnitude of an angle. Right? In the cases when they ask the number of patients, I got the total number of patients and fight with the relevant fraction. And this time they ask the magnitude of an angle, we got the total whole angle and fight with the fraction relevant to that. So always you must have an eligible idea to have a relevant fraction on behalf of the question. Okay, we will move to the question number 3 of the session. You have to wait until I erase out. Question number 3. Whatever the question, I have to first draw the pie chart that they have given. Only 90 degrees mentioned inside one of the sectors. Of course, I got that. And this vertical line. And this time, they have mentioned the denominations, the mode of the representations, 1000 tickets, ₹1,000 tickets, 500 rupees tickets, 200 tickets. Students, are the number of tickets or the worth of the tickets? The worth, the value, right? We don't know the number of tickets relevant for that, but the worth of one ticket was 1000, the worth of the tickets 500, the worth of one ticket was 200, right? But we don't know the number of tickets should be included inside the sectors. Okay, according to the question, we had to understand. Okay, the tickets printed for a drama were valued at 1000 rupees, 500 rupees and 200 rupees. The following pie chart illustrates the number of tickets of each type that was sold. Okay, question number 1. Of what value were the tickets that were sold the most? Right, anybody can see that. The most number of tickets are the 200 rupees tickets. Your answer must be 200 rupees tickets. The usual question. Second one. What fraction of the total number of tickets sold is the number of 500 tickets sold? The answer fraction. What fraction of the total number of tickets sold is the number of 500 tickets sold? We have to write down the number of 500 tickets as a fraction. But we have been given this 90 as the relevant angle for the 500 tickets. Therefore, the fraction relevant to that should be 90 upon 360. Because the 90 degrees, the whole angle is 360. That's how we had form a fraction. You know how to form a fraction, right? Using angles we can form fraction. Using values we can use fraction. Form fraction. Okay? And 0, 0, 9 times 1, 9 times 4. The fraction is 1/4. Third one. The number of 1000 tickets that was sold was 140. Wait, don't read more. We had to mention the data that I have given. The number of 1000 tickets that was sold was 140. The number of tickets 140. Okay? If the angle at the center of the sector that denotes the number of 1000 tickets that was sold is 70. They have given the data, the linking angle, right? Find the number of 200 tickets that was sold. The number of 200 tickets, right? We had to find the number of 200 tickets. Before we have to have the number of 200 tickets, always we have to check the fraction. Yes, it's a possible one. What's the possible fraction? The total is 90 plus 70. What is the sum between 90 plus 70? 160. The total angle is 360. If you subtract this 160 from 360, it is being 200 degrees. Right. Now, nobody knows the total number of tickets in the each denomination. The total number of. Only few number of tickets are known. 140 is the 1000 valued tickets. By giving these 1000 valued tickets as 140 with respect to the relevant linking angle, they expect the number of 200 rupees tickets by having the angle. We are the one, of course, we have to find the angle 200. Okay? But with this given link, we have to find this one. Because this time, nobody knows the total number of tickets or total valuation. If we don't know the total, no use of fight with the total. Then we have to fight with the links. The link given is the 70 degrees belong to 140 tickets. This is the number of tickets. Right hand side I have written the number of tickets. Left hand side I have written the angle relevant to that 140 tickets. The question asks the number of 200 rupees tickets. I must find the angle relevant to the number of 200 tickets.